It's been a day of medical stuff, and I'm a little bit frustrated. Well, hi everybody, this is DearMamaSal, and just want to tell you that I did something I don't normally do, which is I booked two different medical things on the same day. One was with my primary care physician, and the other one was with a specialist about my sleep apnea issues. And on the first one, I'm happy. I had some updates with my doctor. I've got a little bit of trembling going on in my hands that's worrying me, and he's asked me to have some tests done so he can check that out. And then I went to go and see the respirologist to let him know. Well, first of all, of course, I was trying to explain that I'm using the Fitbit to judge my REM and deep sleep. And, as usual, and to be expected, the medical people poo-poo the data on these smartwatches. And I'm not totally sure whether they are right in that. I have a feeling that although obviously it's not the same as going into hospital and having a full test done, I still think it's an important benchmark, and I intend to continue to use mine as a benchmark. However, what I was frustrated about was that I quoted something he had said to me about a year ago, maybe more. This is the specialist. And he point blank told me he never told me that. Now, I don't know about the rest of you, but some of you know me fairly well. And I can even remember coming back from that particular appointment and doing a video about it, a vlog about it, and using the words that he used, which he point blank told me he never said. And I started to say, actually you did. And I realized I'm wasting my time because I have no proof, absolutely no proof at all. So what I did was I just had to just let it go, and so be it. But I don't know about you, that made me very uncomfortable. It was like, And I wondered if any of you have had that problem as well. And I started to wonder whether it's going to get worse as I get older, where they, quite honestly, the comment was made that would be unethical of me to even say that. And I went, well, actually you did. And then I just thought, so what are you doing? You're just wasting your breath. He's going to keep denying it. And you know for a fact that he said it, because it was, it was so impactful. I'm not going to repeat what he said, but it was so impactful on me at the time that I came straight out and did a video about it. And so there's part of me that's actually quite frustrated now, because I'm starting to realize that, those of us who take these things quite seriously, who do have the ability to remember information, maybe we need to start taking people with us so that two people hear the same conversation. And I'm beginning to think I may have to start doing that, because I can understand that I might forget some things, but I don't think I'm in the business of making up things, especially ones as important as the one that I'm talking about. So I wondered if any of you have been frustrated by this sort of thing as well, or whether it's just my luck. However, on a good side, and I have to say this, and this is another question that I wanted to ask you as viewers. I was given the opportunity to have a CT scan of my lungs, because as you know, I spent a lifetime smoking. And he said, you have the right to have one every year if you should so choose. Now, explain, this is in Canada, so this doesn't cost me money. This is like part of the medical system. And I said to him without even thinking, why would somebody choose not to have it if it was offered to you? And he said, and I thought that was quite a good point, some people don't want to know. And I said, well, actually, I think I would rather know. So, good or bad, let me do it. And it was, I don't know, I just kept wondering, with other viewers, would you choose, if you had the opportunity, as I have, to find out whether I have lung cancer way ahead of time, would you take it? And I would suggest that some of you would and some of you wouldn't. And so that brings up a whole discussion about today's medicine. Owing to the fact that today's medicine and the tests we're able to have are so good, would you want to know more about it? Now, the other thing I discussed with my respirologist was the ozone cleaning for CPAP machines. Because I've done a little bit of research into ozone cleaning, and there are good benefits to it, and I also read some bad ones. So I thought I'd ask my respirologist what his view was. Now, the interesting thing is that he tells me that he has checked the websites of these ozone cleaners, and he has also asked them for empirical data. In other words, not just don't tell me that it cleans 99.9% of all bacteria. Show me the documented proof, if you have it. And he said, to this point, none of the manufacturers have been able to supply him with documented proof. They all have the claims, but they don't have documented proof. So I thought that I would mention that. The other thing he said to me was he would recommend to continue cleaning manually as well. Now, I said, is there any empirical proof that cleaning manually kills all the bugs? Because you know me, I'm going to ask that question after the previous thing. Yeah, he didn't like that question. So I've decided that to get the best of both worlds, what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean my mask manually once a week, and then clean it at least one more time during the week with the O3, that's the ozone. And between the two of them, I should be able to keep it clean. So if any of you had those questions, those are the answers I got. Not very substantial either way. Now, the good side, and I'm really proud of myself, I gave myself a serious bonus point today. And the reason was that I had about an hour to spare between the two appointments, and I went and got some poutine, which wasn't a bonus point, obviously, but it was good. I went and got some poutine, but what I did was I realized I had time, and that the appointment that I needed to go to was, just over one city block, just over. And I thought, I'm going to leave my car in the car park of the fast food place and walk. And in doing that, I gave myself bonus points for getting the exercise, but I also realized it saved me money because I left the car parked at the fast food place, and I didn't have to pay for parking at the doctor's office. So I was just going to put that up for those of you who are on a budget. Think about that. Sometimes you can park within a city block and for free and walk where you need to go. And by the way, it did start to rain on the way back, and I didn't have a raincoat with me, and I really didn't care. It's water. Now, I did want to share a thought of the day, a tip of the day. Somebody was telling me recently, and I never thought about this before, if you've got fairly decent weather, when I say decent weather, it's not too cold. Obviously, as we go into winter in the Northern Hemisphere, this won't work as well, but definitely for the spring. Somebody was telling me if you're going to wash your outside windows, do it when it's raining. Now you're going, why is that, Sal? Well, the reason is because rainwater doesn't leave streaks. So what you do is go out there and suds up your windows and let the rain rinse them, and you won't have any streaks. That's what I heard. So I'm going to try it. Save a lot of elbow grease that way. What do you think? And by the way, I'm wearing my Don December shirt. We're getting close to December again, so any minute now we're going to hear about all the details for this year. Yay. In the meantime, listen to what the doctors say, but also be aware that sometimes they don't want to admit what they said. That's really getting up my nose. This is DearMamaSal saying, remember to look after one another, but most of all, remember to look after yourself. Bye-bye for now.